Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Marc's not around at the moment, and this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Welcome or welcome back. Happy Thursday. So, I won't clickbait for any period of time. I do have some news on Marc. As you can see, he's not here. And it's evening when I'm filming this now. It's probably like 7 o'clock. So Marc was in a car accident this morning. He was on his way to work, and somebody ran a light, and kaboom. So, he'll have some info for you tomorrow when we all check in, but I'll give you the bare bones. First things first, he's fine. No cuts, no bruises yet. They said tomorrow will be worse than today. One car accident. He wasn't hurt badly, but he was hurt. And Marc's held together by like gum and string anyway with the RA. So they took him to that. He called me, and I was at work. I was going somewhere else, and I was as far as like the Montage Mountain area, which from our house is maybe 10 minutes. And I'm starting to go down to where the hospital is. There's a mental hospital up on the mountain. And I got stopped to get a Red Bull, because it's that kind of day. And I looked at my phone, and Marc had called twice. And texted twice. I had texted him in the morning to see if he got up for work at 9. And he sent back at 9:05. Yes, I did get up for work. And then at 9:25, when I wasn't looking, there was an accident. It was bad. So I don't know the details of much right now. I do know that we did have insurance. The registration was valid. His license was valid. All that stuff. Everything was set up, so there was no issues. They towed the car, where I don't know. We'll find out soon. And then find out if it's actually totaled. I mean, I've seen them total cars for less, but I'll have to see some of the damage first. Marc wasn't really picking out pictures while he was there. It was in the middle of an intersection in a totally residential kind of neighborhood. And 911 was called, so he talked with police. And then he had called me. I didn't answer because I was wherever. He didn't shut his phone off, so I have a 3-minute voice message of the EMT talking to him about, this is where you put your legs over here, do you take any medications, like all that stuff. So I could hear all that in the background. But he made it to the hospital. We live like a block away from one. And originally, his coworkers called because he called them when he couldn't get me and said, we think he's going to this specific hospital. Okay. So I stop what I'm doing. I call work. I'm like, bigger things, important things. Can I use the company? And I find my way back, and I go up to that hospital, and I sit there for 40 minutes in the emergency room after they went through all my shit, like it was a psych ward just to get in the front door. I was just looking as a visitor. Guy sitting there says, oh, I don't know, let me look it up. And then he says, just wait a few minutes here, it's change of shifts. Wrote my name on a pad and handed it over. So after nothing, I went up to the desk and I was like, look, I must have made a mistake. I can't imagine it would take an ambulance 20 minutes to go 15 blocks. She was like, let me check. And she called the other ERs. I guess it's pretty common. She called the other 2 ERs, and the one was right near us. It's the one I stayed over just down the street when I was in the hospital last summer. So it's close by. We were able to walk. I raced back to the office, dropped off their car, and got to the hospital, and he was in a wheelchair. He had a collar on, and he had a lead in case he needed medicine. They gave him something for pain, non-narcotic, because he told them, he's like, Marc doesn't like to take narcotic medication, so he got some Tylenol and a muscle relaxer and some steroids, and they prescribed that stuff over the next few days. They said tomorrow he's going to hurt worse than he did today. And I was like behind him in the wheelchair because I had nowhere to be. I'm off tomorrow anyway. I took off like a week ago. So I'll be here, he'll be here. Unfortunately, we're going to be huffing it. There's going to be a lapse in time. We had insurance, and I'm like a neurotic person with insurance. I bought everything. I have way more than I need. It's not just this only or that only. I have enough that if, I, God forbid, hit somebody and they died, there's funds from my insurance that would go towards their funeral, more than the government would give you for a funeral. So in that neurotic state, my father always encouraged, like, get it all, because if you don't have it, something will happen. So I have to call them with it. They gave me the incident report from the police and the other stuff, so I just have to contact them. I was driving, this car is in Marc's name, but I pay the insurance on it. So it's in like both of our names. And in Progressive, I have, yeah, before we were married, he was like a secondary on the insurance, so he was still covered. His driving record actually dropped my rates a little bit. I guess he was safer than I was. So we do all that fun stuff, and we walk actually the block and a half from the hospital home, against my better judgment, against my vocal judgment of saying, is this really a great idea? He's in and out in his last name right now. And they were like, oh no, he'll be fine, to keep in moving. He's like, you don't want to sit around too much. I'm like, he was just in an accident. Jesus, Nurse Ratchet. She was nice though. They were all nice at that hospital. It's much smaller. The other hospital's a big city hospital. You gotta wait. You gotta get your shit searched, all that kind of stuff. So I got there. He's in a wheelchair. We talk a little bit. They took him out for a CAT scan, for an MRI, and then brought him back to me. And we sat around for a bit. A PA came with test results and said, you need to do this, this, this. This is what looks like happened. Luckily, there's no broken bones. There's no cuts, no blood, no, nothing like that. He's a little groggy still. You know, that just out of anesthesia kind of look people get, or you see the videos online where they start talking like they're drunk. We got him home. It took a few minutes, but we just walked around the corner. Plus, we don't have a car anymore. So we're good for the weekend. Definitely good. I called my parents, of course. I left a message. I called my dad and said what happened and that I was going to the ER. And then he told Mom, and then Mom called me later. And by that point, Mark and I were home. We had him propped up. Here's your medicine. Here's a coffee. Here's a soda. Here's here's lather, rinse, repeat, whatever, all the lotions and potions and everything that he likes to use. Do all that. So he was being a brat, though. I ended up very kindly getting a ride to the pharmacy from a coworker because I had to it was pretty far. It would have been a couple miles uphill walk to go. And she was like, well, I'll take you. She's like my boss. I'm like, well, when can we go? She's like, yeah, we can go now. So I work with great people. Outside of being like good at managing and stuff, they're like decent people too. Or at least the woman I spoke with was today. My lady. So she helped me get up there. We got his prescriptions. He's here now with it. He has all of them. They filled everything. There was no snafus. I'm doing house stuff, cleaning boxes, dishes, all those good times. And Mark's going in and out of the house having cigarettes periodically. And when I got back, son of a bitch, if he wasn't in the garden as I was getting dropped off after work, I was like, and I had said on the drive to our house, I was like, I swear to God, if he is in that garden, he's gonna wish he was in something better. So, of course he's in the garden when she gets here. But he came over to talk, and they're very nice there. They're family-oriented, very. So if something happens with me and Mark contacts them, they talk to him about, how are you doing? How is this? Because they get that he's the most important person in my life, and that would go. So where does that leave us now? Well, the schedule we put out was for Tuesday night or Thursday night chit chat, which this is. It's just not how I would hope it would be. Tomorrow night we'll be doing the chat with Mark. He said he's committed to doing the live chat with both of us because it's been way too long. I'm pushing to have the live chat with the two of us. Not Chantal, that would stay. That would be its own thing. But with the two of us as a weekly thing. It's a little bit easier as far as planning. It's less stress on Mark over the weekends normally. He's held together like so loosely. And then physically, mentally, he's fine. So we will see. We will see. So thank you all for joining me tonight. If there's any changes, I'll put up a community post or let you know. But I can tell you as of this moment, right now, he's okay. He's resting. He's got his feet up. He's watching roller coaster compilations on YouTube and playing on his phone to order groceries. So he's pretty shook up, but he's okay. Like I said, not with it a little bit still, but otherwise he's okay. And primary care follow-up for him soon. So I went back to work. Normally I'm a crying mess. This is the part of how the hell did I cope. Normally I'm a crying mess in situations like this, but I can also, it turns off, I don't turn it off. It turns off and I go into hero mode, caretaker mode, just real quick. So all of a sudden I was like, let me go get his meds. I gotta find a way to get there. I'm not even gonna bother him with I'll get them. He doesn't need to know a circus of me getting a ride and going all this and that. And just trying to keep him in the loop. He was really groggy when he got home, but they gave him a muscle relaxer. I mean, he looked rocked, but that's what those do. The PA prescribed them. She said, this is going to make you tired. Don't leave the house after you take it. So, okay. So, yeah, he'll see people within a week. He got a week's worth of medication, and then his primary is actually pretty good. So we'll see. So I'm coping. I'm good. Shock, grace, whatever you want to call it. I'm okay. We decided to put some of the stuff off till tomorrow to deal with because the urgency is not there at this point with some of it. We can take a minute to breathe and then go back to dealing with it. The biggest snafu we'll probably have financially is just the car, but I have insurance, so we'll see how much they want to give us. If they total it, I'll get a nice, okay amount. We could buy us a little hoopty to tide us over till better times. It's no big deal. Never had new cars. It's like buying new clothes. I even go to Salval for most of my shit. I don't shop there. So that's no thing to me. But for the convenience of it, for Mark especially, I can walk to work from here, and the agency I work for has vehicles. He's not in the same spot. So we'll see how he feels after the weekend about going back, and we'll see how I feel about him going back, and we'll take it from there. Like I said, my parents are in the loop, so it's usually a community of thought when something like this happens. So that's all I got for you. Look after yourselves and each other, and just remember, no one needs to hear this, but things can change very fast with very little notice. And then I think between COVID and then rough times, I'm just like, whatever. It takes a lot to shock me at this point. So, haven't cried yet about it. If it's going to come, it'll come later. So, we'll see. So, thank you all for joining. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You get alerts when we have new videos and go live. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Contact info and everything is below. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for letting me trauma dump. Storytell/report. I do appreciate it. It helps me out too. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.